Hi guys, what is it that modern teenagers dream about? New smartphones? Tablets? Consoles? Maybe electric scooters? Or maybe some kinds of fashionable clothes or little things like that? After kids stop dreaming of becoming spacemen and archeologists at about the age of 15, they rarely think about who they want to become. But can you really blame them for that? The rough reality is being that parents want their kids to become doctors and lawyers and such. That kills their dreams and puts them into a more earthly sort of mindset. They start to think about money. It's especially hard for those kids whose parents don't even have enough money to buy simple, everyday things. The boy that we want to talk about in this video knows for sure that you don't necessarily need money to catch up with your dreams. He knows that what you need is a strong will and a great desire that will show you the way. Today we want to talk about Bailey Demarco, a wonderful boy who kept on reaching for the stars despite the fact that his friends were laughing at him. Bailey learned very early in life what it means to live in a family who has it rough. He knew what hard work feels like and knew how to be diligent and persistent. His family had money problems, and oftentimes his peers would laugh at his baggy old t-shirts and falling apart sneakers. There wasn't much he could do about it. He was only 15 and he didn't want to ask money from his parents, especially since they didn't have any. Despite the fact that his classmates were mocking him all the time, he knew that there was simply no time to be offended. Like most boys of his age, Bailey got interested in football. When you're out there on the field, it doesn't really matter how old your shoes if you manage to run to touchdown. Soon, football has become the integral part of the boy's life. He even thought about putting together his own football team. But he didn't have the money to even buy a proper ball or, better yet, afford classes. All of these problems made his dream remain only a dream. But Bailey was not the kind that gives up too quickly. Yes, he cannot afford the equipment, but he can develop his strength and agility, those two crucial skills that are so important in football. He grew up in poverty, and he always knew the importance of working long hours and being persistent. Because life is hard, and you gotta grind really hard in order to succeed. And so, every day after classes and on weekends, our young athlete began his training. Devoid of rest and time for having fun, Bailey started his way to the top. So what he did is he took 2 car tires and he put them together with a chain. He wrapped that chain around his waist and exercise took its course. With each passing day he was becoming the better version of himself. And so then one day when he was training outside in his fully improvised gym, he spotted a car, a very expensive looking one. Bailey didn't mind the company at all, and he just went on exercising. Because in order to be able to follow your dream, you simply can't afford wasting your time on things that drag you away from your goal. The stranger started talking to the boy, asking what he was doing and why he was exhausting himself so badly. Turned out the man was Earl Davis, the Metro Youth Sports Junior rugby team coach. Of course the boy didn't know that at the time, and so he told the man that he was gonna try to get into their school team next year. And that's why he was working so hard. Earl was amazed by the boy's willpower. He found out that Bailey was running every day with those tires behind his back for the past few weeks. He was so young, he looked almost exactly the same age with my boys, Davis recalls. 2 of my own kids play ball, but they were both sleeping at home while Bailey was out there training. I wanted to take his picture to show my boys what real determination looks like. The 15-year-old dreamer was talking to the man all while doing his thing. He didn't stop once for a quick breather. He was sweating like crazy, trying to explain to the man that he didn't want to be rude and all, and that he just had to do what he had to do, and that he didn't have time to spare. Because he was following his dream at full speed, and he simply could not afford to stop. He only stopped once to let the man have his photograph taken. That was that. Davis was so struck by the boy's will that the same day he posted that picture on his Facebook page. Earl Davis wasn't the only one who got very inspired by the willpower and persistence of the young player. Over a few hours, the photo received 3,500 likes and 1,500 cheery comments. Many people started saying how the sight of him was motivating them, pushing them to try harder to pursue their dreams. Bailey's example has become a great example for many people out there who also had dreams and those who also wanted to follow them. Many of those who commented wanted to know if there was a way they could help the boy. And that's when Earl Davis asked Bailey's parents about posting his story on GoFundMe. What's more, he asked him if he wants to join their team and start training together with his boys in Metro Youth Sports absolutely for free. The next week, people from around the world have gathered over $5,000 for Bailey. Part of that money was spent to buy all the necessary equipment that the boy needed so badly to start the proper training. But that was only the beginning of the miracle. Those who wanted to help the boy found where he lived and brought all the stuff he needed directly to his house. The boy was absolutely smashed by the amount of attention that people gave him. He couldn't understand what was it that he did that made it all happen to him. He thought it was natural to give your best when you really go for it. Anyways, at this point he realized that from here on in, he simply doesn't have the right to let down all those people that show their willingness to help him achieve his goal. When he got all the things he needed, it turned out that he received plenty of extra gear, and he wanted all that stuff to be handed out for charity. Because there were many kids out there who really wanted to play but couldn't afford to buy all that stuff. Here's how he explained his decision. I have friends and family who will help me in case if I need something. But there are people out there who have nothing and no one to help them, so I want to help them. Earl Davis says that he believes in the boy's bright future and that he's always in touch with him. Perhaps one day, Bailey's diligence will let him finally become the next legendary rugby player in the history of America. So what do you think about Bailey Demarco, guys? Did you get inspired by his example? Are you ready to strive for your dreams right away after you just watched this video? Remember, anything is possible, and it's all in your hands. Share this video with your friends, inspire them to really go for it, and try to be like Bailey in his pursuit because he really is a great example for that matter. And while you guys are still here, I want to ask you to share your thoughts in the comments. Press the like button if you like this video, and also ring the bell to stay notified about new interesting and inspiring stories. And as for me, I'm off to do some serious training, you guys. See you later.